Yeah, how y'all doing out there in video land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today I decided to redo a video that I did on Friday the 13th. It had a major blooper in it, and I just decided I just want to redo it, people. It's sort of bugging me because the blooper is a major blooper, and I tried to correct it with, leaving some notes and stuff like that, but still getting asked questions about it. So I decided I'm just going to delete that video or mark it private or whatever, and so it can't be viewed publicly. And this was going to be the one that's going to replace it, people. And what's that video about? It was a video about Crucible, how they have filed Chapter 11 protective bankruptcy. And apparently this is the second time that they filed bankruptcy. So it may not be the end of the company. So I don't think we need to freak out. I've been looking a little bit more into it. I don't think we need to freak out. Looks like it's going to be more of a restructuring. But there's still that possibility out there that on March 5th, they could be closing the doors for good. And Crucible is a company, people that have been around since, I think if I read right in the history of it, 1876. 1876. And I'll leave a link to the history of Crucible from Crucible Industries on their website that you guys can go check out for yourselves. But I absolutely hope Crucible doesn't end, people, because Crucible is one of my all-time favorite steels. And the reason why it's one of my all-time favorite steels is because it's used in pretty much all my favorite knives. All my favorite knives use Crucible. And I've been using it for a while now. And yes, I do use it. All these knives that you see in this drawer are knives that get used. And I pulled out, previously in the previous video, that's something that somebody complained about. They complained that I was showing knives I don't use. And I decided, there was a couple knives in that one that I didn't use. One was the titanium 8010. I can't remember what the other one was. And I think it might have been the FM1, because I don't really use the FM1 all that much, people. I have used it, but this wasn't my style, people. It was too thin. But I absolutely love the knife. I think it's a very beautifully made knife, and I think, it's an exceptionally made knife. It's just not for me. Not everything is for everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, I prefer the thicker handles. And if they're not thick, they have to be shaped in a way where I have a good grip. But anyway, that's the explanation for this video, people, is that it's replacing the other video about the Crucible bankruptcy. I think I'm going to title it and everything the same way. And so when you guys see it, you may have thought that you've already said, wait a minute, you already posted this video, but it's just a replacement video of the other one. All right. So let's get into this one. Let's start off by saying that I really hope Crucible doesn't end. The reason being, to me, is that I've seen too many American companies that I've always had respect for come to an end in like the last 30 years. Companies that I grew up with as a child in the 60s and 70s, and companies that my parents and grandparents used, and use their products and stuff like that. And I've been seeing a lot of those kind of companies come to an end, that ones that endured a lot of the hardships in our country. Crucible is one of those kind of companies, people. They've been around since 1876, and they even go back further than that, because they believe that in the history thing they talked about Sheffield, England. That's where the originators from Crucible came from. And so, it's got a lot of blade history, a lot of knife history, a lot of forging history. The Crucible Forge is, they've had them, in several different places. And I just hate to see the company go under. It's an awesome company, people. They make awesome steels. I know in the last video I was saying that they made the best steels ever in the world. I'm not going to say that, because there's lots of companies that make great steels. After I made that video and I watched it and listen to the comments. I agreed. There's other companies that make awesome steels also, and one of them, the companies that I think makes premium steels next to Crucible. The other two companies, one's American, CTS Carpenter Steel, and the other one is Bowler. Bowler Steel makes super awesome steels. The Elmax and the M390, they're awesome steels. Awesome steels. But and CTS with their XHP, we all know that, and the different steels that they make. But the one I must admit that I use the most though is Crucible Steels. And let's just go through some of the knives that I've been using over the years with Crucible Steels. Absolutely love them, people. And most of the ones that I've used are probably the 154 CMs, because anything with the CM is Crucible Metallurgy, and then most of my, I probably would say, would be the CPMs. The CPMs, that's when I really start using Crucible steels, is when the CPM steels started getting used by cold steel. They went from XHPs, the XHPs, pretty much all the XHP steels that I've used have either been from Cold Steel or SOG, Studies and Observations Group. Those are the two companies that I've used their CTS XHP. The companies I've used S35VN or excuse me, Crucible Steel, which is most of them I've used have been S35VM blades. And after that, I think it would be S30V blades. And after that, I think it would be the 3V blades. And after that, I think it would be Crewware. And then M4. And then M4, people. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my knives and trying to figure out what I need to be saying. But those are the ones I've used. And the one I've used the most of is S35VN. I know a lot of people, don't absolutely love S35VN, because the competitor for S35VN and S30V is pretty much like Elmax, like the Bowler Steel, Elmax, and M390. They all compete like within the same range or whatever. And I think they're all excellent. They're all excellent. I have several knives with pretty much all my large Demco knives. The 8020S series, those are all the Bowler Steels. Bowler Steels and Austrian K110, D2, and I have Elmax and M390. So those are pretty much all the Austrian, the Swedish Austrian steels, the Bowler steels. But anyway, let's get into these, people. This is my S35VN. Oh yeah. Recon 1. Orange G10 handle scales. Absolutely love it. D2 blade. I mean, not D2 blade. What am I saying? S35VN. CPM S35VN blade with a 3.4 millimeter thickness. And you got a Sabre hollow ground with a flat ground tip. DLC coating. This is the flat finish DLC coating. This one has the aluminum snaggletooth on it with the aluminum cog ring, snaggletooth cog ring. Absolutely love it, people. It's been lubed and tuned, so it's very smooth. And this has, I just see, so these don't have any up and down, no side to side or anything. These are my folding self-defense folders. That's the way I think of the Recon series for me. The Recon and Talibor series, and 8010 too. 8010, pretty much all of them. All of them. I think of them as like folding self-defense folders, people. But especially the Recons. And you can probably tell that by the way I have it outfitted. These have 50-50 balance, perfect balance. So they manipulate perfectly in your hand. Absolutely love them, people. Beautiful knife. I've been carrying these for years, ever since they've existed. Next up, this is the new Recon. This is the new CPM Magna Cut. CPM Magna Cut, the Wonder Steel. Absolutely love it. And I hope if something happens that all these recipes that they have for these steels will go to another American manufacturer that, you know, really cares about these steels and would like to see them continue and do them justice. But I hope Crucible keeps making their own steels, people. That's what I really want. I don't want the company to close. And they're talking about laying off 150 people if they restructure. That's sad for those people, you know, because that's a lot of people, a lot of families. It's very sad that that's going to happen. Because I'm sure those are career people. People that are dependent on, you know, their income, and they probably have a household and everything else built around their job. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. I hope everything's going to be okay, people. I really do. I hope everything's going to be okay. I hope everything's going to be okay. I hope world trade and everything, you know, stays the same and, you know, doesn't get all messed up and people start having to pay more and we're already paying for things. I really hope so, people. But we will see. This is another beautiful one. I didn't talk too much about this one. Let me finish talking about this one. I got the Snaggletooth wave feature on this one. This has a 3.5 millimeter thick blade as opposed to 3.4 like the Taiwanese Recon ones have. This one's made in Italy. It's got G10 handle scales. A little bit different. Everything on this knife is a little bit different than the one made in Taiwan, people. The one made in Italy is not the same as the one made in Taiwan. The internal is even a little bit different. But they're both beautiful knives. This one right here, though, I would say would be like, I don't know, it's like a refined Recon one. This one feels perfect. When I first received it, it had a gritty feeling from the lubrication that was in it. And I took it apart, replaced all the lube in it with the lube that I like to use, you know, which is lithium base, Militech 1, gun grease, and oils. And after I did that, this knife was super smooth, people. It's a beautiful knife to carry to work. It's a beautiful knife to use every day. I haven't had to even strop the Magna Cut. It's been holding its edge. Excellent, excellent knife, people. And this one right here, this is the newest Recon one that I have. This is what they call the spear point, and I call it the drop point. What Cold Steel calls it is a spear point, Recon 1. And it has the CPM S35EM blade. Absolutely love it. And to me, these two look a lot alike. Which one is this? That's the Swift, people. To me, the Swift feels like an automatic version of the spear point drop or drop point Recon 1. That's just my opinion. But I think they're a lot alike. I think they're a lot alike, people. Absolutely love them. All these have pretty much the same specs as far as like they all have G10 handles. These two have CPM S35V stainless steel blades. This one has the new Magna Cut. These two are made in Taiwan. This is made in Italy. It's not this one's turn yet. Okay. Next up, Tau War. Tau War. This is something else that we're correcting that we didn't do right in the first video. We didn't talk enough about this one. Accidentally skipped over it. Not this time. Tau War, people, has been one of my favorites ever since it's existed. Out of all these right here, this one would probably be the one that carries the most because it's an excellent self-defense folder and it's an excellent work folder. It's excellent for what I use it for at work is food prep. And with this kind of blade, the super slicey blade, it's excellent for food prep, people. Excellent food prep knife. Highly recommend this one. And if you like the reverse finger flick, this is the one to get. The Towel War is the one to get if you want a reverse finger flick. It's the one that reverse finger flicks the best. Why? Because you got the nice big wide Hogue and Demco wave plate. And so you got a lot to have a perch for your finger when you're reverse finger flicking. And it always comes out perfect, people. This is a beautiful little knife. It's lightweight. Weighs less than 5 ounces. Like 4.9 or something like that. It's like right around 5 ounces. It's a beautiful knife. Highly recommend this one. Highly recommend this one, people. The Towel War. That's the large Towel War. Next up are the knives I like to carry and like to use the most. Oh yeah. Well, y'all know this one. Y'all know about the 8010, how my love for the 8010 is, because this is one of my new recent loves. Ever since GSM started making this Tonto blade for this one, that's when I fell in love with these. That's why I fell in love with the 8010, people. I had the 8010s before, but I never really carried them. But when they came out with the Tonto and I saw this one, it was love at first sight. I've been carrying them ever since. Absolutely love the 8010. 8010 is awesome. Perfect balance. The function's perfect. The spring tension's perfect on the lock bar. Everything's great about this one. I love the thick blade. I love this 3.5 inch mid-saber flat ground. Mid-saber hollow ground. Did I say flat ground? Hollow ground, people. The tip is flat ground. It's a beautiful knife. 3.8 millimeters thick. Nice and thick all the way to the tip. Super strong knife. And I love it with these gun stock, aluminum gun stock scale kits from Original Goat. Or any of the scale kits from Original Goat. Aluminum. They make them in aluminum, brass, copper. Just about anything that you want. I think they even got the carbon fiber now. If I'm almost swear to that, but I think I saw some carbon fiber or something like that. I wanted to make the SR1. Got that Original Goat? Come out with the SR1. And it'd really be nice if you came out with the Recon. Now these two are different. So, you'd have to do them differently. But you have to make a set for the new Recon and a set for the old Recon. But, oh man, that would be awesome. But you know what? I love my G10 Recons too, though. So I don't know if I want to make them heavier. But a carbon fiber scale set for these would be awesome. Carbon fiber. Oh, that would be awesome. Aluminum would be awesome for them too, because aluminum would keep it light. Because aluminum only weighs a little bit more than G10. So that's one reason why you always see me liking aluminums, because aluminums, they keep the weight down. Absolutely love this stuff. This one it's got the 6061 aluminum backspacer. It's coated black. You can polish these out if you want to make them match the scales and stuff. I've done that before. It's a beautiful knife, people. Just a really good knife. The 8010. The 8010, pretty much any form that you get one in, is perfect. All my 8010s I love them. They're perfect. All right, next up, the Ultimate Hunter. Now, my recommendations list for 3.5 inch folders, I forgot to put this one in it. Because this is one of my all-time favorite 3.5 inch blade folders too from Cold Steel for triad folders. It's got the 6061 aluminum backspacer. It's got orange G10 handle scales and an S35 VM blade. They also made these in, the old company made them in CTS XHP also. It's got a high saber flat ground blade. The Ultimate Hunter. It's meant to be a folding hunting knife. A little small folding hunting knife. Good for skinning game, dressing deer, whatever you have to do. You don't really want a big giant knife for that. The blade stock in this, I believe it's like 3.8 I want to say 3.8 millimeter. Let me see something. No, it's probably about 3.5, people. 3.5. This one's 3.8. This one looks thicker. So I'm going to say it's 3.5. Absolutely love it, people. Absolutely love it. Now, my new love for the small, oh yeah, folding hunters is the Bushman. The Bush Ranger with the nice thick G10 handle scales. Oh man, this is nice. And a G10 backspacer with the steel inserts so that you screw into, so you don't have to worry about stripping things out so much, you know, when you pull maintenance on it. It's got a Demco wave plate. I don't know who makes this one. It might be a Mike Wallace knife. I'm not sure if it's Mike Wallace or Andrew Demco that designed this one originally. It's been around for a while. It's just I never got into them because I thought they were too expensive. And then Midway had a sale on them for 59 bucks. And I jumped on it. I got this one. And after I got this one, I saw how beautiful it was. I ordered another one, people. Yes, I did. Oh, these are beautiful knives. Beautiful, beautiful knives. I should have had one of these a long time ago. But, you know, I'm glad I got the way I did, though, because I read, you know, and now I see that they're, you know, like right around $100. Everybody's selling them. So I think this is a beautiful knife for $100 or 100, you know, 100, a little bit under 100, a little bit over 100. I think this is a beautiful knife. Beautiful knife, people. If you can get it for that price. I mean, I don't think there's a nicer knife made, you know, a knife that's made nicer than this one for 59 bucks. Come on now. This is CPM S35VN. It's a powder metallurgy steel. Crucible. Crucible. I love Crucible, people. I love them. One thing that's cool about Crucible steels is that I don't know what the other steels charge for their steels, but you find Crucible steels on more affordable knives too. So, you know, they make a lot of steels that are affordable. I guess they must be more affordable than like a lot of the other steels are. I don't know. I don't buy sheets of steel, and I'm not a knife maker, so I don't know what sheets of steel cost or what have you. But it seems like you can find more Crucible steel knives on the more affordable knives. Absolutely love it. Next up, okay, my Demcos. My Demcos. Oh yeah. This is 20 CV, CPM 20 CV. With the original goat kit, jimped aluminum backspacer, and aluminum shark's tooth handle scales with the Lynch Northwest pocket clip, titanium pocket clip with skiffs inside. This is the slicer blade, 20 CV slicer. The slicers are the ones without the thumb studs. And the slicers are my favorites for the 80-20.5s. I like the slicers the best. The ones like this with this spear-shaped blade. That's the one I like. It's got skiffs inside, Lynch Northwest pocket clip. This one right here, this is a stock titanium one. This is a CPM 3V. 3V. This one, the original titanium 3V 80-20.5s. It's completely stock. It's got the stock bearings inside, stock pocket clip. Absolutely love it. CPM 3V. Oh man, you just gotta love Crucible Steels, people. And this is Spyderco. Spyderco crew wear. CPM crew wear. Oh yeah. This is the Crew Carter model. Absolutely love these. The blade stock starts off at 3.8 millimeter, thins down to the tip. It's a full flat ground blade. I like these for food prep. These are, to me, the Spyderco knives make excellent food prep knives, people. Excellent. This one's got the compression lock. It's a military 2. Military 2. Absolutely love them. Now the military too, to me, is a fidgety knife, but it's not a super fidgety knife. And it's pretty much a right-hander knife for me, because of the positioning of the compression lock. So if you're a person who wants a left-hand knife, I wouldn't really recommend this one. I'm sure you can teach yourself how to use it and stuff like that with your left hand. It's really a right-hand knife. This one right here, this is a ball bearing lock. This is my S30V one. This is the very first Manix 2XL I purchased. I can't remember when I purchased it. I think I've had this knife for, I don't know, maybe 8 years or so. I've had it for a long time, people. And it's got the bladescales.com micarta scales on it with the Fly titanium ball cage, just like my other ones all set up with the crew wear. And it's got the flat DLC coating on it. Absolutely love it. Oh, I got a backspacer on this one too that I got off of Esty. And this blade has been repolished and reprofiled several times. This one's been heavily used by me. It's one of my favorite carries for a long time. I absolutely love the Manix 2XL, people. It's one of my favorites. And no, my knives are just stock knives on the inside with, and somebody asked me about, they said my Manix 2XL, the other one, must be, I don't know what they said it must be modified or something like that, because it opens too easily or something. This is how they function if you use them. If you use them and carry them and fidget with them all the time, they start functioning like that. And this is not loose. This is a completely tight knife, no up and down, no side to side. And it's 8 years old, people. This is an old knife. It's not a new knife. This knife I've had for a long time. It's one of my first Spydercos. This and my Power Lock Spydercos are my very first ones. And I have 2 of these. I have this one, and I have another one just like it, only it's totally stock. It's got the stock. I didn't change the ball cage or anything. It's left it completely stock. But it's the DLC coated one. This is the one I use. I got one to use and one to collect. You know how I do. And I did the same thing with the crewwear one. I got the crewwear one that I use. I modified with the bladescales.com scales, the natural G10 scales. And then I have another one I didn't modify at all. And it's totally stock. Only used 2 of them. This was the first one I used, and then it got upgraded with the crewwear. I still love this one, people. This is one that looks more military. The other one looks more civilian. This one looks like a soldier's knife. The other one looks like a civilian's knife. All right. Absolutely love them. S30V. CPM S30V, people. Crewwear. Next up, Hogue. Hogue Industries. Hogue Knife Company. Make gun grips and knives. I love their knives, people. Alan Ershowitz? It designs most of their knives. Designed this one. It's got a G10 inlay. This is 6061 aluminum handles. And it's just 2 pieces of handle. You don't have any bearings or anything like that, or washers or anything on the inside. The handle is your bearing and your washer. That's the way this one's made. And it's got a lockable plunge lock. And the plunge lock on this one is pretty stout, people. It's not a weak looking plunge lock. This knife was made and designed by somebody who knows about knife fighting. And so you can lock this forward, so now you can't unlock it. Now it won't come unlocked. This is a Harley-Davidson edition. This is the one that I carried. I have several Hogue X5s. And this is the one I carried, people. Absolutely love these. The X5, made in USA, Hogue USA. What kind of steel is this? CPM 154. CPM 154. I decided to put one of these out because somebody was talking about CPM 154 and 154 CM. And I decided to put one of these out so you can see. This is a beautiful blade. I don't know what you would call this. I know this is what I would call a spear point. To me, this is a spear shape. It's not a drop point, it's a spear shape. And it does have like a harpoon. So it's like a harpoon spear. But it does have a flat right here, so it's not a full flat grind. It's like a high saber flat grind, spear, harpoon. It's wedged. This is a total fighter knife. This is meant to be a fighter, people. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I have a bunch of Hogues. And they came out with a different blade shape too that was like a modified Tonto type shape. I didn't pull that one out, but this one was the one that was already out because this one stays out because I like to carry this one right on a motorcycle sometimes. It's one of my favorite motorcycle knives. Why? Because it's a Harley knife. All right. So I thought I'd include that one in there too. This one I've had for a long time, years, people. I don't even know how old it is. Can't even remember. It's one of the first plunge lock knives I ever bought. That and Friends. I forget the name. Something in Friends. Okay. Anyway. Atlas lock time. I love the Atlas lock. And to me, this one is the best functioning Atlas lock that I own. Out of all the Atlas lock knives I've tried, this one functions the best. It's the easiest to use. And there's no side to side, no wiggle, no wobble, no up and down, no tick, no tock, nothing. This one's perfect. And this is the first one I got. And this is the first one I modified. And it's perfect. It's perfect. It's got the skip bearing kit, or the original Goat OG1 aluminum scale kit with skip bearings. They come with skip bearings. I didn't really even use this in a stock form that long, so I can't really comment on how good these are as a stock knife. But I can comment on how good these are as a modified OG Goat knife. And I think it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best, people. I don't have any other knife that's smoother than this one. I don't have any other knife that operates as smoothly as this one. I don't have any other knife that operates as perfectly as this one. This is a beautiful knife. The only thing that this one lacks, it doesn't have a lot of detent. That's the only thing it lacks. But it has enough detent though. It's not the worst detent knife I've ever owned. But it doesn't have a lot of detent. That's the only thing that I think it could be improved on. And the way that you would improve on that is by putting a stronger spring in it. Because the spring has a lot to do with the detent on the Atlas lock. And this is another one of my favorite Atlas locks. Not because it's the best one function like this one, but because, I should say it is, this is an assistant knife, so it does what it does perfectly well. It does what it does perfectly well. Absolutely love this one. The Swift 3, people. I have the Swift 2. I like the Swift 3 better. If I was going to recommend one between the two, I'd definitely be recommending the Swift 3, people. The Swift 3 functions perfectly. Every time you go to try to fire it, it fires. It functions perfectly. I like the way that you can lock it closed. You can lock it closed. So now you can't open it. And then to open it, you unlock it. Bam. And then you can lock it open. So now it can't come unlocked. Then you unlock it. Bam. It's a beautiful knife. 3.4 millimeter thick. CPM M4. CPM M4. This is a CPM M4 blade. Swift 3. Absolutely love it. 4-inch blade. G10 handles. That's a steel pocket clip. That's the only flaw in this one to me is the pocket clip. I think the pocket clip needs to have a little bit better retention, you know, sit tighter to the handle scale than it does. And I'm not going to bend it or anything like that. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. That's the way this knife was made. But I think the pocket clip can be improved. If they come out with an improved pocket clip, I will purchase it if they allow us to purchase them, and I will replace it. I would like to carry this knife on my motorcycle and everywhere else too, other than just as a work knife or a car knife when I'm in a car or something like that. Because I don't trust this pocket clip for motorcycle riding. I'd be afraid I'd lose the knife. All right, people. And last but not least, oh yeah. The American Lawman. I love my American Lawman, people. I love it. I've been carrying so many different American Lawmen over the years. To me, this is the perfect EDC knife for a 3.5-inch blade. It's a perfect size, the handle and everything, the thickness, and makes it easy to conceal if you're in a work environment and you don't want people to know that you have a knife. It's nice and flat. But it's not so skinny that you can't get a good grip on it. That's one thing I like about this one. You know, even though it's nice and flat, you can still get a good grip. You feel like you have a nice, good, strong, stout grip. And it's like that in every grip position, in the forward, in the middle, and in reverse. All grips feel perfectly good. It's a beautiful knife. And actually, what this is, you know, because Lindsey Thompson saw Andrew Demko's 8010, and he decided he wanted Andrew Demko to make an 8010 that was a little bit lighter weight and more EDC friendly, and that's where this one came about. That's where the American Lawman came about. It's actually just a downsized 8010. Absolutely love them, people. Absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. Okay, now that's these. Now I also want to, you know, this is going to be a long video, people, because I want to talk about different steels and different things. And I'm going to set these aside. So we can get into some different things. And what I want to talk about, I don't know, let's talk about different blade steels. Because I want to show respect to everybody's blade steels that I've used over the years that I thought was, you know, a great blade steel that I've used in folders. I'm not talking about fixed blade steels. That's a whole nother story. You know, you get into different blade steels in. I'm going to start off with yep, I know this might upset some people and might make some people happy. I don't know. I'm going to start here. I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to start with my D2s. My D2s. And the first D2 I'm going to start off with is, oh yeah, my dagger. My Russian dagger. My Russian D2 folder. I know it might be controversial. I absolutely love this one, people. This is a frame lock, stainless steel frame lock. It's got a D2 blade. And the other side has a G10 slab on it. It's fully lined both sides with stainless steel and back spacer also. So a fairly heavy knife. It's not a lightweight knife. And it does have a what do you call it? A steel insert for the lock bar, and it's lockable. It's a lockable one. You can lock it in place. So now it can't disengage. So now this knife can't disengage. You unlock it, now you can disengage it. That's a feature that I like about it. To me, it makes it extra safe. It's a big knife, though, people. It's a mega folder. This would be in the mega folder class. I can't remember exactly how long it is, but it's a mega folder. Absolutely love it. Lock it forward, can't unlock it. Makes it safe. Awesome knife. Awesome knife. Let me see. We could put a couple of these out here, then we'll have to put them away again, huh? Okay. Next up. Another one that I've always liked. My D2s is my SOCP 391 BK. Benchmade. Oh yeah. With my carbon fiber elite scales and D2 blade. Absolutely love it. I carried this knife, I don't know, like about 6 months straight. I broke 2 springs in it. This is a knife that I broke Omega springs in, people, because I fidgeted with it so much. It doesn't have the original Omega springs in it right now. It has the ones I got off of eBay, so they're probably from China. But you know what? I lubed them up with a lot of grease, and I haven't broken an Omega spring since. So I don't know if the ones from China are better than the ones that Benchmade was using. But I haven't broke one since. Works perfectly. There you go there. With my D2 knives. We're doing D2 knives first, people. D2 knives. Next up, another one of my favorite D2s. The CRKT. CRKT. This is a assistant one. It's got the Kinning assist. It's got the Flavio Kuma deadbolt and IKBS ball bearing system. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The M16. M16. Absolutely love it. Kin Onion Assist really works good on this one. Absolutely love it. Nice thick blade. Nice drop point Tonto. I love the drop point Tonto styles. American drop point Tonto styles. Absolutely love it. Next up. Oh yeah, another deadbolt. Another one of my favorite D2s is this deadbolt right here. It's the Clever Girl. The Clever Girl. It's an awesome McLong design. Absolutely love it. 3.8 millimeter thick blade, if I remember right. It's a hollow ground blade. It's got a saber hollow ground. It's a Persian style blade. Absolutely love it. Deadbolts rock, people. One thing about deadbolt though, they do require more maintenance than like than a triad lock. A lot more maintenance. But they are beautiful knives too. And the last one I have is a new kind of a D2. It's called Sleipner D2. And this is a lion steel knife. Now, let me see if I can remember what the name of it is, people. I can't remember what the name of it is. Maletta. But I do remember Sleipner Steel. And this is another one that has a lock that you can put on the lock on the frame lock. So it can't come unlocked. That's what I liked about this one. And this one locks super solid, people. This is a beautiful knife. And this is one of those integral frame folders. This one has the aluminum frame. These also are made with titanium. Titanium ones are very expensive. They're over $300 or something like that. And this one's expensive too, but it's aluminum. And you know me, I like aluminum better anyway because it's lighter. It doesn't mess up the balance. The balance on that one's nice, right? Boom. 50-50. This one's handle heavy. If you go back a little bit, you can get, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, right about there. It's a little bit right behind the front finger groove. Same thing goes for this one. So it's manageable. These two are manageable. This one is real handle heavy because it's got a stainless steel handle, people. So you got to go way back here to get the balance spot, which throws off the hand maneuvers. These are the D2 ones I wanted to share. These are the D2s. I think that's all the D2s I had over here that I wanted to share. I'm taking a second look, making sure. So we're going to remove these off the table. I love D2. D2 is an excellent steel, people, if it's done right. It holds the edge for a long time. Oh, I think I forgot one D2, though. I think I forgot one. And it's probably the one that gets used the most out of all the ones I've shown you. And some of you probably already guessing and probably knowing which one I'm talking about. I forgot one. And, oh yeah, it's my favorite. It's my pocket knife. My favorite pocket knife. This one right here. Purple Haze is in the house. This is one I got for like a little bit over $200. It was totally beaten up and everything, and I totally refurbished the whole knife. Totally repolished it and redid the edge and everything else like that. And it's an excellent knife. Put brand new scales on it. It had orange G10 scales on it before. Now it has purple G10 scales I got from John Demco himself. Came with the Lynch Northwest titanium pocket clip and skiffs inside in it when I received it. I purchased this off of eBay. And I replaced the back space, the barrel spacers with a polished aluminum back spacer from, oh yeah, Original Go. Polished the shark fin too. This knife has been completely polished inside out. Has zero side to side, zero up and down. I've been carrying it for, I don't know, a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years. And it's been my number one the whole time. This is it. This is number one, people. This one's number one. This is number one. If you want to know what number one is, it's Purple Haze. I love the 8020S. The 8020S and the 8025 models, those are my favorite ones to carry every day. Why? Because they're fun to carry. They're balanced. They're fidgety. They're everything. They're just beautiful knives, people. I love the 8020 series. I love the shark. I don't care what kind of steel knife this has. I'm going to like these the best. Because nothing is more fun to use than these. I love these. These are number one with me. Number one. Numero uno. Drop the mic. 8020S model. Back in the pocket it goes. It's on duty. But anyway, next, let's get into the next steel. The next steel I want to get into and talk about, now my favorite steels is CTS XHP. And the one I'm going to start off with is the one I talk about and compare it to one that I dislike so much all the time. This is the Broken Skull. I love the Broken Skull. Please bring back, you can call it anything you want to, but bring back this knife. Bring back this knife, Cold Steel. Get rid of the Range Boss. Now, I always confuse that name with the Ranch Boss, and the Ranch Boss I like. The Ranch Boss I like. It's like the remake, it's like a modern remake of the Mustang pattern folders from Charade. I absolutely love the Ranch Boss. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and I do agree, I think it'd be awesome if they upgrade the steels on them. But I absolutely love the Ranch Boss. But this one right here, for the slim knives, for gentleman's folders, I would call this, a gentleman's folders. A cowboy's gentleman's folder is a Mustang pattern folder. And this is a beautiful knife. This one's got CTS XHP and G10 handle scales, and they're not flexy. The new one, the Range Boss, has Zyx scales or something like that, and they're super flexy, people. And it's got, I don't know, I think it's 4034 stainless steel blade. Is that what it has? I can't remember. I know it wasn't anything impressive. And it's like, I got one of those, and I was totally unimpressed with it. People. This is the one to get. They don't make these anymore, but if you can get a hold of one of these, if you want this type of knife from Cold Steel, don't get the Range Boss. Get this one. Get the Broken Skull. Get the broken skull. It's DLC coated CTS XHP. It's from the old company. You know, it might be even kind of expensive to find nowadays because I know they're kind of rare. But this is the one to have. That's the one to have. Okay, that's number one. And the CTS XHP. Next up, for CTS XHP, that I really like. Oh yeah, the Spyderco. 4mm thick, reinforced triad lock. It's got partial liners in it that encase the triad lock. DLC coated CTS XHP. It's got a 6061 aluminum backspacer, the G10 handle scales. Same thing with this one. This one's got the 6061 aluminum backspacer also. The G10 handle scales. Next up. Ultimate Hunter. CTS XHP. Another great knife. This is my first Ultimate Hunter. This is my original one. Now I have the orange one in S35VN. But this is a CTS XHP. This is the original version. Aluminum backspacer. 61 aluminum backspacer. And black G10 handle scales. CTS XHP blade. 3.5 millimeters thick. Oh yeah. This is the newest model I have. I think they still make these. I think you still get these. But this is the carbon fiber Engage with CTS XHP blade. This is a limited edition one. This one right here is number 115. 115. CTS XHP. And yes, this is a collector for that person that didn't like me showing my collectors. This is a collector. I don't use this one. That's a collector, people. It's a collector. These have been used. I don't really use them anymore because they're the old companies, and I'm moving away from using my old knives. I'm using all the new knives, but these all have been used. This one has never been used. It's a collector. Next up, CTS XHP. Another one that's been highly used. Oh yeah, it even has my name on it. Stiletto. Oh yeah. This one came from SOG. Came from the company itself. They sent this one to me themselves. This came from SOG, Studies and Observations Group. It's one of my favorites. I've carried this knife. I don't know. This is a highly carried and used knife, people. It's been highly carried and used. Absolutely love it. And then I replaced it with another one I highly carried and used with a different color handle scales. I think it has the gray handle scales. But this was the first one. Absolutely love it. CTS XHP. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend this. This is the XR lock. XR lock from SOG. It works awesomely. I highly recommend knives. If you like Omega spring lock type locks, XR lock is one of the best ones. XR lock. And one thing that makes it so great is that they make them with flippers. And so you got the flipper right here, people. You could use the flipper if you want to. And the flipper adds extra protection, so if the lock ever did give out, it's not going to fold in on your fingers, people. So this makes it a little bit safer than a regular, like a Benchmade, where, I'm just going to pull this one out real quick. Where if this lock gives out, you're getting cut. Because there's nothing in here to stop you from getting cut. The blade, they got an edge all the way down to a part of the tang where it's going to cut you. And that's one reason why I stopped carrying my Benchmades, people. I love Benchmade knives, but if the knife blade gives out, it's not really safe. You know, all these knives are safe. See, that's not going to cut me if that gives out. It's not going to cut me if it gives out. It's not going to cut me if it gives out. Not going to cut me if it gives out. This is not going to cut me if it gets out. It won't even be able to fold in all the way. Just something to think about. Another one of my favorite ones from SOG is the Kiku. I love this SOG Kiku. It has micarta handle scales, CTS XHP blade, a thick one too. Absolutely love it. I love the handle on this. It's one of my favorite 3-inch blade knives. The SOG Kiku. And they make this with the carbon fiber liners, and I had that one too, but my favorite one's the one with the steel. I like the heavier one. Absolutely love these. And I think these are T&I coated, titanium nitrate coated. I think that's the coating that they use on them. Absolutely love them, people. But that's it for the CTS XHPs I wanted to pull out. So let's go ahead and put these away. Sun's starting to come out a little bit. It was really ugly looking this morning. It looked like it was going to be a stormy day, but it's starting to look nice now. All right. Next up. I just want to show a couple of S35VN models too that I also like. Okay, what's this one? These are the case. I'm sorry, people. I thought I saw something outside. These are the case knives from Case. These have an S35VN blade. Absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. I think this one's called the Kazua or something like that. And I can't remember what the name is on this one. Marilla, Kazua, and Marilla. I think these are great little knives too. And they also have the hardened steel insert. I think that's something that you should always look forward to whenever you get in any kind of a frame lock knife. And this one's a slicer. And this one's for those that like thick tips, thick, strong tips. Absolutely love them both, people. They're dedicated flippers, which I also like because I don't like a lot of different. I'd rather just have one way to open a knife and have a bunch of different ways to open a knife, people, because then you sort of get too busy on the blade and it takes away from the peel of the blade to me. I think those are beautiful looking knives. Case knives, made in USA. This one is an artisan cutlery knife. It's one of the first Chinese knives I bought. I'm looking for the name, people. I can't remember the name. It just says S35VN 181OG serial number. And it says China. And it has an artisan emblem. So I can't remember the name of this one, people, but it's one that I always thought was really sexy. When these first came out, I had to have them. I have a couple of these. And this one's S35VN. I also have one in M390, I think it is. And these have titanium handles, titanium backspacer. Beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. The blade stock starts off at 4 millimeters thick. It's got like a big swedge right here. It's got like a reinforced tip. It's meant to be a stabber. And the reason why I got this one because it reminded me a lot of the what do you call it? The Darryl Ralph stilettos that I used to have back in the day with titanium handles and D2 blades. And there's a big knife. But it reminded me a lot of that. It's like made pretty much the same way. It's a beautiful knife. This is artisan cutlery knife. Artisan cutlery knife. That's it for the S35VN ones. Oh no, wait a minute. We got one more. We got one more S35VN one that I wanted to bring out. Oh yeah, the FM1, people. The FM1. I highly recommend this knife. I think it's a beautiful knife. It's just not me because it's a little bit on the slim side. The handle is not wide enough for me. And it's just very slim. So I don't feel like I got like the kind of grip that I like to have on a knife. Whereas like this one is got a wider grip. So even though it's a narrow knife, you still got a nice grip. It's still, I love the grip on this. Same thing goes for this one. The grip on this one's excellent. But this one, it feels like it's not meant to be like a self-defense folder, people. It's not a knife I think I would want in my hand for self-defense. It's okay for utility and everyday cutting chores and stuff like that. But for self-defense, I just want a better grip. I feel like I need to have more confidence in my grip. And that's it for the S35VN ones, I think, that I wanted to bring out. Oh, wait a minute. One more. There's always one more. Oh, yeah. This one I haven't getting a lot of mention to lately. And I absolutely love these too. It just haven't been getting a lot of attention lately. I absolutely love, the Spartan. The special edition Lindsey Thompson Spartan with CPM S35VN blade steel. Thick blade stock. I can't remember what the blade stock is. I want to say it's like 4.5 millimeter or something like that. And G10 handle scales, contoured G10 handle scales. No liners in this one, because the original one has, I think it's steel liners that are in the original one. This one's linerless. It's just got thick G10 handle scales. Nice thick G10 backspacer with the steel inserts. Beautiful knife, people. Oh yeah, it's full flat ground with serrations. Full flat ground with serrations. And this is another collector one. This is a number 148. 148. I just brought this one out just to show that, I like the Spartans too. Okay, that's it for the S35VN models. Let's go ahead and put these away. Okay, next up, let's go to S30V. Oh yeah, the sliver axe. This is one of my favorite little knives. This is a Spyderco sliver axe made in Taiwan. It's got carbon fiber over G10, if I remember right. Handle scales. The blade is S30V, CPM S30V. Next one is the amalgam. Another one with pretty much a lot of the same features. Both of these are, if I forgot to mention, both of them are compression lock folders. Absolutely love them. Both are made in Taiwan. Both of them are flippers. This one has a thicker blade stock. Absolutely love them, people. Some more S30Vs. This is S30V Military 2. This is my first Military 2. I carried the mess out of this knife. This one got used, mess out of. But it got replaced with the, oh yeah. It got replaced with the crew wear. This only modification on this one is a lanyard plug. Absolutely love it. S30V. My other S30V one is one that I'd never really carried. I just wanted to get the military version, the military version. But the one I like to carry is my crew wear, people. Y'all know that. I like to carry my crew wear. They're all the same, except for this one's S30V, and it's got the camo scales, G10 scales. And let me see, we got any more S30V knives? I think that's it for the S30Vs. That's it for the S30Vs. They're all Spydercos. All my S30Vs are Spydercos. All right, let's go about what about 20 CVs? 20 CVs. Oh yeah, let's start that off with a ZT Zinkovich. I'm trying to remember the person's name, people. Zinkovich. And this is a model 462. 462 Zinkovich 20 CV, CPM 20 CV. It's got titanium. It's a titanium frame lock. It's got the steel insert. The blade is 20 CV. This side is carbon fiber. It's like a reddish carbon fiber. Beautiful knife, people. This is one of my favorite frame locks. Of all the frame locks I have, it's one of my favorites. All right. Got a couple of those too. Absolutely love that one. Okay, 20 CV. Okay. There we go. Slicer. Purple Rain. This one's Purple Rain. That's Purple Rain. It's got the Fly Titanium G10 handles, purple G10 handle scales. I requested that they turn into a big pivot. They did that for me. It's got the Lynch Northwest titanium pocket clip and skiffs inside, DLC coated slicer blade. 20 CV slicer blade. Then we got the new Shark Cub. 20 CV Shark Cub. One of these I cracked up, with the handles cracked up, but I got new kits coming for all of these from Original Goat. So these will be all getting tricked out next year for you guys. You'll see all these get tricked out. This is a 20 CV blade. From Demco Knives. And this one's set up for left-hand carry. All my Shark Cubs are set up for left-hand carry. Left-hand carry pocket knives. Maybe you want to check my left hand, make sure I don't got anything there. Okay, let me see. We're doing 20 CV. Oh, okay. We got these. These are 20 CV. ProTech. My ProTech knives. Plunge lock knives. These are the Malibus. This one's the Warncliffe, if I'm not mistaken, right? And this is a reverse Tonto. Both of them had 20 CV blades. Plunge locks. These are some of my first plunge lock knives. Absolutely love them. And it was really hard to get them too, because the Malibus are really hard to get. And then after I got them, I thought they were cool, but I never really carried them because they just weren't me, people. These handles are just like way too slippery. I mean, they're extremely well made. They're highly precision made, no doubt. I'm not debating any of that. I'm saying that they're perfect. Mine work perfectly. They're nothing's wrong with them. It's just that the handles feel kind of slippery. It feels like a good EDC folder, but as a self-defense folder, not my first choice. So that's probably the reason why I didn't carry those too much. 20 CV, I think that's it for the 20 CV ones, people. I think that's it for 20 CV. All right. That's it for 20 CV. Showing my respect to everybody's knives I've used over the years, the different blade steels. That's what I'm doing. Because I want everybody to know that I respect everybody's steels. Even though I think Crucible are probably my favorite because they make most of the steel, they're in most of the knives I like to carry. And that's probably one reason why I call them my favorite, people, to be honest about that. But let me see, what else we got here? What about M390? Let's get into the M390s. The bowler steels. Oh, yeah. This is another artisan knife. I can't remember what model this was. Let me see. Let me get my magnifying glass again. It's a Dylan Mallory design, M390, and they just have the model number. So they have a name. So Dylan Mallory design. Another artisan, M390. Forget which model this is. That's beautiful. I carried these for a while too when they first came out. Next up, is one that I've carried recently, carry all the time, are my MSIs. I love my MSIs, people. I love the MSI. Microtech MSI is one that I absolutely love. This one that I put together with this original goat kit. It's got skiffs inside. It's all been all polished by myself, custom polished. Absolutely love it. M390, bowler steel. Now that's called an M390 MK if I'm not mistaken. And another one that I've carried a lot. Oh yeah. Let me just show it real quick. Everybody's seen this one a lot. It's a carbon fiber one. I modified with Botex Engineering carbon fiber scales from Australia. Next up, oh yeah, my amphibian. These are my three Microtechs I've carried this past year. They all have skiffs inside. They've all been modified with skiffs. These were polymer knives that I modified complete with custom scale kits. This is the G10 model. This one's all stock. The only thing modified about this one is the skiffs. Everything else about this one is the amphibians are all stock. I like my amphibian scales. I have no desire to modify these. Somebody asked me about how come they haven't made scales for amphibians. And my guess is that the amphibian scales are really pretty nice already. I mean, you can get I have the aluminum one also with the 7075 aluminum amphibian scales, fluted scales. They look just like this, only they're black. But they got the same fluting pattern. And I have this one. And I think these are, I have no desire to modify these. These came perfectly, the way I would want them anyway. And so I can't picture, I think that's probably the reason why. I don't know, people. But, it would be cool for, Original Goat to come out with some different patterns, because people would like different patterns and stuff like that. But these knives are very expensive from the get-go. And then if you modify them with some expensive scales, and that's going to like double the price of them, it's like, it gets to the point where, I don't know, I think you're putting too much money into it. Especially when they're nice from the get-go. And always things that are completely stock are usually the things that are going to be worth the most in the long run if you're a collector. Unless the things that you're modifying were extremely popular in that time period, that's the only time that it will go up in value. But usually modifications lower the value of price, lower the value of the knife, not increase it. And if you're doing something as an investment, it's best to leave things the way that you find them. And just make them function right or function better if you're getting something used. But not to really modify it a whole lot. That's my experience, people. I know the knives that I've sold, that were collectors, I've sold, for money and I held on to and I sold as investments. The ones I made the most on were the ones I didn't modify. Because people always want the stock knife. That's just my experience, people. You all can do whatever you want to do. I'm just letting you know my experience. So knives that I modify, I tend to think of them as knives I'm modifying for myself, not modifying for somebody else or modifying to make a profit on. I modify them because that's what I want. All right. But anyway, let's move on. M390. Oh yeah, got to get the 8020S. My spear point or drop point M390 8020S model with my titanium scales. It's got the shark's foot scale or the what do you call it? Shark's tooth pattern scales. Absolutely, titanium scales, titanium pocket clip and skiffs inside. Absolutely love it. And then what else can we toss in this group too? Because I only have one Elmax, and my Elmax is very close, from what I understand, to titanium to the M390 steel. So I'm gonna toss this one in here too. And this is the titanium pineapple pattern from original goat with titanium jump back spacer, Elmax steel blade. Let's see if you can see the Elmax. Let's see if you can see the M390 on this one, huh? All right. So that's it for these. Let me see. Do we got anything else that falls in that category? Oh, yes, we do. We got a Benchmade. This is my Benchmade Contigo. It was a special edition Benchmade that I put aluminum scales on it. I got from this person in Russia that was making scales. And I got the scales off of them way back when. This is an old knife, people. I've had this knife for a long time. This is another M390 Benchmade example. This is a Contigo. It was a special edition with M390 instead of the M4 blade steel. Absolutely love it. I got a couple of these. This is the one that I modified and I carried. Carried the mess out of this knife. Highly carried knife. Any others? Any other M390s? Going once, going twice. That's all of them. That's all. Okay, let's put these away. Yeah, we're not done yet, people. I know this is going to be a long video. Long video. Give you all something to look at for a long time. All right. But I had to pay homage to all the knives I've used over the years. All the different blade steels. Let me see what we're going to do next. That's what I'm thinking, people. What we're going to do next. How about the last of the powdered metals, the oddballs. Let me see. There we go. We'll start off with that one. What is that? That's a 3V. Oh, yes. 8010 titanium 8010 with 3V blade. It's a Demco Limited edition titanium one. And this one in the black one. This one's number 130. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, people. Yes, this is a collector. But I just want to bring this out, show the CPM 3V in a folder. Awesome knife. You can still buy these. You can still buy these. Let me see, what else have we got? How about a CPM 150, or no, 154 CM. That's right, 154 CM. I want to show one of these too. This is a Hogue, 154 CM. It's got 6061 aluminum handles and 154 CM blade. Let's see, the oddballs. Oh, you know what? I didn't put the. Did I show this one? CTS XHP. That was supposed to be with the CTS XHPs. That's my mini lawman. Mini lawman. Another great knife, people. Another great knife. But here goes another one. This one is a CPM 154. CPM 154. It's a California legal. Kershaw automatic. Stiletto. Folding stiletto. With a CPM 154 blade. Absolutely love it. Is that too cool for school or what? All right. What else we got over here? Oh, we got another Kershaw. Another Kershaw. CPM 154. Folding stiletto. It's one of the launch. These are the launch series knives. I can't remember exactly which number of the launch series they are, but they're part of the launch series. And we got ProTech, little ProTech, Caligo, California Legal. This is a 154 CM, 154 CM. Another Crucible Steel knife. These are all Crucible Steel knives. CPM 3V, CPM 154, CPM 154, and 154 CM. 154 CM is a non-metal powder metallurgy version of 154. Beautiful knife steels, people. Beautiful knife steels. All right, that's 154s and oddballs. Now we're almost done. Now we're almost done, people. We're almost done now. Now we're going to get into the ingot steels. And the ingot steel that I like the most, I probably use the most, is probably the Japanese ingot steels, the Oz 8 and the Oz 10. So let's start off with the Oz 8. One of my oldest Oz 8 folders of all time. It's been modified. It's been completely modified. Is the Recon. The Recon. This is my oldest ones of all time. It's one of my very first Recons I ever purchased. And yes, it's been totally modified, been carried for years, people. Oh yeah, it's a Purple Haze Recon. Totally polished Oz 8. With all the snaggletooth parts on it, they've been polished. Cog ring, everything's been polished on this. And it's got purple G10 scales I got off of eBay. They're probably from China, no doubt. But it's a lot of fun. I like purple knives, people. Purple's my color. I like purple. All right. Next up. And this one was a Snaggletooth MF gift from Robin Snaggletooth and Lucky Bastard. Lucky Bastard. My buddy Lucky. Gave me the cog ring and the Snaggletooth. The knife I already had. And I just added it to this knife. This is the Oz 8. Hold out. Hold out 3. All right, what else we got over here? Oz 8 time. It's Oz 8 time. Okay, holdouts. This is the holdout size I wish they would bring back. They haven't brought back this side. They brought back the smallest one and the large one, but they didn't bring out, the extra large one, but they didn't bring back the large size. This is a 4-inch blade holdout. This is the one I like to carry on the inside of my vest, where I'm carrying my Oz 8 Towel War. This is my first Towel War, my first holdout. Were the Oz 8 sets, the extra large and large sets. Those are my first Towel War sets. Absolutely love them. Been totally polished. These are knives to get if you like the reverse finger flick, people. They reverse finger flick the best. Absolutely love them. Oz 8. Let me see. Is it time to go into... Let's step it up a little bit. Let's go into the Oz 10 category. Oz 10 category. And the one I'm going to start that off with is my 8015. 8015. Absolutely love it. This one I made to see if I can make one, a budget 8015 for like 110 bucks, 115 bucks. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that's what total cost of the knife and the kit. And this has a skiffs inside too. It's a kit that comes with skiffs from Original Goat. Makes a beautiful knife, people. Makes the knife function perfectly. Absolutely love it. Japanese AUS 10A steel. And y'all seen this one. Y'all know this one. Oh, yeah. Absolutely love it. Oh, yeah. 8010. Well, that's about it, people. That's about everything I needed to show, that I wanted to show. Absolutely love these. Absolutely love these. And I got a couple more favorites over here. This should have been with the CTS XHP ones. This is another knife that I carry all the time. It's my Frenzy. It's my polished out CTS XHP Frenzy. The very first Frenzy I ever purchased is one I carry all the time. Highly recommend that. And we can't go anywhere without talking about the Mayhem. I love my Mayhem. This is the Oz 10 one. This one belongs in this category. Oz 10. One of my new favorite megas, the Mayhem. Absolutely love it, people. And my newest tie light, special edition tie light. I swapped out the G10. This has got the G10 handle scales. That's not I tell. That's G10. This is a model that uses G10. S35VN blade handles. S35VN blade steel. It's got the new clip blade. Lindsey Thompson tie light 6. All right, people. Well, that concludes this video. That was a long one. I hope some of y'all still hanging in there. But anyway, that concludes this video. I just want to show my respect to everybody's blade steels. I love Bowler steels. I love the German steels. I love steels from everywhere, people. I love steels from everywhere. I love knives from everywhere. I'm not brand loyal. Sure, I may have more cold steels than anything, but, because cold steel is like the first knife that I really had a whole lot of faith in with the triad lock. And it just made me just fall in love with the cold steel knives. And I don't know if it's cold steel that I love so much, or if it's Andrew Demco and the triad and his invention of the triad lock and the shark lock, scorpion lock. He's created a lot of great knife locks, for self-defense folders. But I absolutely love my blades, people. And all the ones that you've seen are all ones I've, except for the couple of ones I point out that were collectors, I've carried every one of them. Carried and used every one of them. Because when you see me doing an unboxing, after the unboxing, I usually carry the knife for a few weeks. And if I really like the knife, might be a few months. Because I always like to test out stuff and let you know what I feel about it. The unboxing is just the unboxing. What you find out later is, and if I don't, and lots of times if I do an unboxing of something, if I don't do a follow-up review on it, it's because I didn't like it. And I don't like saying a bunch of negative things about stuff, people. It's not me. I don't like spreading negativity. I'm not trying to do all that. But I like to talk about the things I do like. And that's what you'll get from me. You'll hear about the things I do like. I'm not into trying to put down everybody's things, because I'm not no knife master or anything like that. I'm not no metallurgist or anything. I don't know what's best or whatever. I only can go by my own personal experiences. And my personal experiences with fancier steels, as one person was saying, is that they hold better edges. And if you don't like resharpening a knife all the time, I like knives that hold a little bit better edge. Knife steels that hold a little bit better edge as opposed to ones that don't. That's just my personal preference. So I don't like having to resharpen things constantly. And when you get steels like Oz 8, you know, the Japanese Oz 8 or some of the softer steels, you have to constantly resharpen them. Sure, they do the job. And you know, sometimes they're the better self-defense folders because the softer steels sometimes are the tougher steels. They're less brittle and less prone to breaking and snapping. So sometimes that's what you want in a self-defense folder. But me, myself, I sort of want like somewhere in between. I don't need to meet in the middle somewhere. I need to have a little bit of edge only because I like to use my knives as utility knives sometimes. And I do want them to be tough enough to be able to withstand combat if that's what they have to do one day. So, you know, that's where I would sort of like wrangle what my needs are. And to me, it sounds like MagnaCut is like the ultimate steel, but it's just so expensive right now. I'm still going to be sticking to my other choices that I have. You know, because for a pocket knife, it doesn't have to be a super, super, super tough knife. But when you start getting to these bigger blades, you do start having to use tougher steels. Anyway, that's my experience, people. Hope everybody's having a great holiday, having a great holiday season, and it's getting ready for Christmas time. That's all I got to say. Ho, ho, ho. Peace out. Stiletto.